Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin and I'm the author of the new book, Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love, available now in paperback, Kindle, and Audible books. Make sure to pick up your copy of Twin Flame Romance. The amazing thing now is Audible is having a great sale for the holidays that I saw started yesterday. It's like you can get, well, first of all, your first month, I think, of Audible is for free. So you could download Twin Flame Romance for free. And then after that, the first 3 months of Audible are something like $6.95. If you are currently reading Twin Flame Romance and you leave a review on Amazon, take a screenshot of that review, email it to me at michellefondinauthor@gmail.com, and I will send you an Audible copy of Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy, which is also a great book to pick up in paperback, especially regarding the topic that we're talking about today, and also the chakra series that I'm doing for the Twin Flame meditations. If you haven't yet checked those out, make sure to check those out. They're really, really good for healing for both you and your twin flame. Now, the third thing I wanted to say was if you want to book a twin flame reading with me or just a general angel reading, you can email me at michellefondinauthor@gmail.com. You can also check out my website, fondinwellness.com. I do 30, 60, and 90-minute twin flame readings. It comes with coaching, so if you want more coaching than reading, totally fine. But it really gives you clarity. It helps you to have a peace of mind, especially if you've been really worried about you and your twin flame connection. It can give you more clarity about that connection, most definitely. Today, we are talking about a message, a really special message from the Divine Masculines, which is, I am working on gaining my personal power back. This message is for the Divine Feminines, and it's a really important message, as I said, because a lot of times these messages come to me when I least expect it. I always have a list of upcoming videos that I'd like to produce on YouTube for twin flames and for other topics that I like to speak about. So I had a list. I was going to do the third chakra meditation today and post it, but God had other plans. So the channeled messages from my angels, and this came yesterday, it didn't come today. Yesterday, I really had a little bit of a low energy day. It was really a time for me to really focus a lot on meditation and just a lot of self-reflection and just turning inward and getting to my goals, and it was just a personal day that I really needed. And I would highly recommend Divine Feminines if you haven't yet taken personal days to really get that downtime. It's really good just to treat yourself and take care of yourself. So it came to me yesterday and I was going to record it yesterday. I didn't have the energy or time. So today I am recording this. I'm posting it today. Today is Saturday, November 2nd, 2019. And we are talking about this message that came through from the Divine Masculines to the Divine Feminines saying, I am working on it, guys. I'm working on getting my personal power back. This is so incredibly powerful and timely at the same time. As I mentioned, I had it on my list. You know it's the next chakra coming up is the third chakra, the personal power chakra, which is the area of the solar plexus, which I talk a lot about. I have a whole chapter on it in this book, Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy. Now, the great thing about this book is it's a really easy read, so it doesn't get into like a really complicated description of the chakra system. It really applies the chakras to your body, mind, and soul, which is super helpful. It really came to me, gosh, this message was so strong, you guys. This is exactly where they are at. If most of my videos resonate with you, then the Divine Masculines in this collectivity that I speak about and channel for is your collectivity of Divine Masculine, meaning that your Divine Masculine probably falls into this category. If it doesn't, if it really doesn't resonate with you, if you're like, that's really not my Divine Masculine, and you find that consistently the videos don't really match with your Divine Masculine, then it's probably not the collectivity of Divine Masculines that I channel for. But this one is really strong, and I know this applies to many of the divine masculines in this collectivity that are really moving toward reunion with you and getting ready for reunion with you. So it's not that they haven't recognized this connection. They recognize this connection as something really special. They recognize this connection as a soul connection. They recognize this as being something that they really don't deserve, or they really feel that they don't deserve. I mean, they're kind of on the fence. Like, they go in waves of like, yeah, I deserve to have this divine feminine. And then they backtrack and they go, no, I really don't deserve to have her. She's much too perfect and she's too beautiful and she's got herself together and she's this wonderful, beautiful princess and goddess. Like, they go back and forth. They kind of like go forward and then move back. And so they're really cognizant, they're really aware, they see the signs, they see the symbols, they really feel the telepathy, and some more than others, obviously, because some are more soul connected with themselves than others. And even though they're awakening, everybody's on a different level as far as soul awakening comes to reality, into the 3D world, right? But this subgroup, they are especially suffering in the area of the solar plexus. So how do you know that? You know that if they're carrying extra weight around the area of the solar plexus, or if they have a hard time gaining weight with the solar plexus. So that could mean like a depletion of energy. The weight around the area of the solar plexus is really kind of like an overcompensation for trying to position themselves in the world and being like a strong, powerful figure in the world, but they're doing it through not healthy means, if you will. And the other signs are like, if they have been caught up a lot in ego-based behavior in the past because they're trying to assert their will and they're trying to move forward with this big, powerful, strong position, not in a mean way. Honestly, these divine masculines are not mean. They're very gentle at their core. They're extremely gentle. They are kind, they're generous, they're people pleasers, really, but they're very proud. So it's like they've got this kind, gentle side to them, but then they're really proud. And so they don't like the feeling of being weak. They don't like being perceived as weak. They don't like being perceived as not being the strong men that they are. And that's why there's this battle going on the inside of them, because for many of them in this collective, I would say 90 to 95% in this collective that I'm channeling for, they have had huge problems of their personal power being taken away from them. They know this happened at a younger age. So it could have happened in childhood with I'm seeing, and I have been seeing, an overbearing mother. I'm seeing like the mother who is like the helicopter parent, not to mention like just she calls the shots. She works in the way of extreme guilt. So guilt tripping her son into doing what she wants him to do, being very manipulative, being cunning, if you will. But then she loves him. She genuinely loves him, and he genuinely loves his mom. But there's just this air of manipulation and how she's taken away his personal power, and she's done it his entire life. And he feels a lot of affinity for her. He really loves her. He wants to take care of her. He doesn't want her to suffer, but at the same time, he's really struggling and striving and to take back his personal power. And in the last few months, I believe he's really stood up to this mother figure and said, like, look, I'm a man. I'm an adult. I'm a man. I don't need this from you. I really don't need this from you. I can stand on my own 2 feet. I can make my own decisions. If some of those decisions don't resonate with what you want, I am sorry, but I'm a man and I need to take back what is mine. So that's one figure. The other one is like the controlling wife or girlfriend. So some of these divine masculines have been in a relationship with a controlling wife or a controlling girlfriend who has done the exact same thing. So maybe they started off with a controlling mother and then it went over to the controlling girlfriend or wife that again was taking away their personal power. And again, these men are people pleasers. They're kind, they're gentle souls, they're generous with their time, they're generous with their money, they're generous with everything that they've got. They work really, really hard. And these women in their lives have just taken advantage of them. Now, the third category of men that are in this collective with the personal power being taken away is at the workplace. So They've had to work really hard to get where they're at in their workplace. They've had to strive. They've had to really overcome many obstacles. A lot of them had to overcome socioeconomic obstacles, race obstacles, religious obstacles, just not being accepted in the workplace obstacles, like competitive behavior obstacles. So there's been a lot that they've had to overcome, but in the midst of overcoming that, what has happened is they have compromised their personal power. So they've risen to the position, or they're rising to the position that they want, but they have sold, I don't want to say this because it sounds really bad, but they've sold their soul kind of in exchange for that, or they've sold some of their personal power in exchange for that. So they've kind of like eaten crow, if you will, in order to get to the position that they're at. So they're in the position they want, or they're going to be in the position that they want, but because of their gentleness, and because they're people pleasers, and because they're really hard workers and they want to please and they know they should be in those positions, but there's people that are more power hungry than they are, who have really taken advantage of them, so that they have kind of like given away some of their power to these other people in the organization. So put this all together. Now, some of these men have all three. Some have all three of these things, where they've got the overbearing mother, they've got the controlling girlfriend or wife, and then they've got somebody or some people in the organization or workplace where they're at, like also taking away their personal power. So imagine throughout the life of these divine masculines in this collectivity, that because they are who they are men of integrity at their core. They have high moral values, they have high beliefs, they have high ideals, and they have had their personal power time and time again taken away. Now, they are not completely fault-free. Just know this. In anything, you do have control over your own life and your own existence. And luckily they do. Like, luckily they have control over their own life and their own existence, even though they thought they didn't. That's really the difference. They thought they actually didn't, but they do. And they're figuring it out. They're like, oh, all right, well, I've given away my personal power to these people or this person, but now is the time that I can take that back. Like, I can take back my personal power. I don't have to give it away. Like, I don't have to people please to no end, meaning like I'm completely depleted. I've given everything and I have nothing in return. And I don't have to always cave in to what these overbearing people want. I don't have to cave into that. I can say no. I have the power to stand in my power to actually say no. I have the power to not people please, meaning that I'm going to put up healthy boundaries so that I don't have to lie, because we talk in other videos. I've talked many times in other videos about people pleasing and how really, and I've written about it in my book too, a couple of my books actually, that people pleasing really is a lie. It's a lie because you're not being truthful to other people as to how you really feel, but you're placating them just to kind of give them what they want, while inside you're ruminating about things. You're like angry, you're upset, you're negative about things because it's not really what you wanted to do. They are really working, guys. They're so working hard and taking back their personal power and healing up that third chakra. Now, another thing that those of you that are really advanced on the journey, in the twin flame journey, now some of you are at the beginning stages where you just met your twin flame, or you're just activated by your twin flame. Some of you are in the middle stages or the beginning of the middle stages where you're experiencing the dark night of the soul. Some of you are in those middle stages where you are still having the obsession with your twin flame, and there's a lot of crying, and there's a lot of telepathy and a lot of dreams, and it feels like it's really far out of your reach. And then some of you are much closer to reunion, where you've kind of surrendered to the process. You're pushing through, you're feeling more relaxed. Yes, you have moments of crying. Yes, you have moments of wanting them, of course. But for the most part, you've gone through all the garbage and you've cleansed your childhood wounds and cleansed your wounds from the past. And you're just kind of like moving forward with your life. And they are always with you, and they're constantly with you. And you do want to see them. You want to talk to them. You want to see them. You want to text them. You want to call them. But You're going to let them take the lead because they need that. They need that as part of their personal power and developing their personal power. They really need it. And they need to reassert their will in a positive way. Not reassert their will in a negative way, but reassert their will in a positive way. And by proactively, positively reaching out toward you, that is one way in which they are going to regain their control, regain the control of themselves. So if you are at that phase, kind of like the end stages before reuniting with your twin, you will have noticed a lot of mirroring. There's a lot of mirroring of emotions going on, a lot of mirroring of sentiments going on, a lot of mirroring of just this sensation or feeling of being on the similar wavelength with your twin. Where you might have felt you had such enormous growth, where you were like, I'm good. I'm an independent woman. I'm doing my thing. I'm starting my business. I'm starting my creative endeavor, my passions, whatever. I'm going out there. I'm going out with friends. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself. Like, I'm really moving. I'm making money. Like, I'm moving forward in life. It's all good. I'm moving forward. I'm great. When my divine masculine comes to me, he comes to me. It's no big deal. So you found yourself at that pace and place, and you're like, yeah, finally, I'm not crying every 5 minutes. I'm all good. So you're at that place, and then all of a sudden, in the past week or so, as the divine masculines are going through this process through purging, cleansing the solar plexus chakra and regaining their personal power, all of a sudden you started feeling powerless again. You started feeling powerless over the connection again. You started feeling insecure over the connection again. You started feeling like you didn't have the amount of confidence that you worked through and you worked so hard to gain. And so you're left thinking like, what the heck? I already went through this. Like, I already went through this. I already regained my self-control. I already regained my self-confidence. I already regained my sense of personal power. What the heck is happening? What is happening? And so what is happening, guys, is that you are mirroring your divine masculine. So you need to know, it's so important that you know what is yours and truly yours. Now, there might be some residue of stuff in your personal power that you haven't quite worked through yet, and those are just like residuals. Like, you've done a major part of the work, but then the rest of the work, you're still not there yet. And so as your divine masculines are going through and trying to regain their personal power by asserting their will and healing this whole area, like that whole aspect of themselves that just felt like they didn't have the control, or they had given so much control over to other people that they just had nothing left. It's just like, is in their positioning in the world, they just didn't feel that they had it. So now they're trying to gain it back. And what sometimes happens when you really try to overexert is there's an exaggerated amount of overzealousness or overwork in that area of your body, or that area of your soul, or that area of your emotions. And so because they're working so hard at regaining that control and the personal power within, you're feeling it, guys. You're feeling the residuals, not only of you and the stuff that you need to work through, but you're also feeling the residuals of your twin and what they, like, in order to work through something, you have to dive deep into it, right? In order to work through something, you need to go down to that core. You need to go down to that core of that wound. You need to go down to the root cause of that wound. Like, what has caused me to not feel powerful? What has caused me to give my power away? What is the genesis of this? So because they're having to dive deep into it, they're taking you along with them. Like, you're going along for the ride. Whether or not you want to, you're going there because you guys are so tied together. And especially at the end of the journey, like I said, at the end of the journey, before the reunion, before the new beginning, you guys are tied like this together. So when they dive deep, you're going to dive deep too. And so a lot of those feelings of lack of self-confidence or just questioning yourself and where you're at in society and what your position is and how powerful you are to go out there and make a living, for example, or go out there and make friends or go out there and start a new job or whatever. Like, you're starting to second guess yourself and question yourself, but no, that's not you. That's your DM, that's your divine masculine who is doing the exact same thing. And you're just mirroring them and you're taking their stuff on to be yours. So understand to know what's yours. Understand that they're doing the work. Have compassion for them, please. Please have compassion for them. It is so hard to do. It's really, 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 really hard for them to break away from those overbearing mothers or the overbearing girlfriends or wives and the workplace where they've been maybe even ridiculed, where they've been like ridiculed or teased. And that may have been even carried over from childhood where in school they were teased. So it's this ongoing thing, this theme in their life that is just going on and on and on and on, and it hasn't let up. And so meeting you in this connection, in this integration of your souls has led them to understand and know that no longer, like, they don't want to be like that any longer. They don't want to give away their personal power to other people, not deserving of their personal power, obviously, but they need to hold on to their personal power. Thank you so much, guys, for understanding the divine masculines. That was my message. That's the message I got this week. That is the message I got. So just really compassion, 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 empathy, love, compassion. They're only human, you guys. Like, yeah, they're your soul, obviously, but in the end, they're here having a human existence. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Share this video with other twin flames. And thank you for supporting this YouTube channel by buying a book or 2 or 3 and pledging your support on Patreon, www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin. And I will see you in the next video.